You are staring down a major life decision, and suddenly your body reacts. Your palms start to sweat, your mouth goes completely dry, and your heart races like you are sprinting, even though you are standing perfectly still. Psychologists call this specific experience decision paralysis. When confronted with high stakes, your brain processes the options as physical threats, freezing your ability to choose and bringing your personal or professional goals to a complete halt. We tend to treat this overwhelming freeze response as a side effect of modern, fast-paced life, but a precise clinical description of this exact breakdown was documented over 2,000 years ago in the Bhagavad Gita. The crushing weight of anxiety is a timeless human condition, and because people have been experiencing it for millennia, an ancient, structured cure already exists. The Gita opens on the legendary battlefield of Kurukshetra. The warrior Arjuna stands between two massive armies, lowers his bow, and faces his hardest decision. Instead of leading the charge, Arjuna displays the classic symptoms of a severe panic attack. He drops his weapons, reports that his mouth is dry and his limbs are trembling, and he becomes completely paralyzed by profound grief before a single arrow is fired. His charioteer Krishna steps in to help. The dialogue that follows operates as a meticulous crisis intervention therapy session, moving past Arjuna's surface emotions to diagnose the root of his identity crisis. Arjuna's external war is an allegory. The thousands of soldiers and the dusty plains represent the intense, conflicting thoughts and emotional battles we fight inside our own heads every single day. To understand how to fix this paralysis, we first have to answer a mechanical question. Why do our minds freeze up and turn against us right when we need them the most? The Gita relies on a specific metaphor. It compares the human mind, known in the text as manas, the restless, turbulent faculty that processes our senses and desires, to a wild, incredibly powerful horse. A wild horse has an immense amount of raw energy. If you let it run unchecked, it will violently drag you toward worst-case scenarios, emotional chaos, and sudden panic. This animated diagram illustrates how we survive that ride. The wild, moving element is your mind, and these rigid control lines representing the reins are your buddhi. Buddhi is your intellect, the logical, reasoning faculty capable of constraining and steering the mind's raw power. When you drop the reins of your intellect, you hand total control over to fear. Without logical constraint, the mind drags the body into a state of physical distress, causing the exact paralysis Arjuna experienced on the battlefield. Anxiety is the inevitable result of an unsteered mind taking over your cognitive faculties. To solve this, Krishna provides Arjuna with an ancient treatment plan consisting of two specific tools to pick the reins back up and regain control. The first tool is detachment, or Vairagya. Vairagya is the deliberate practice of stepping back to observe your racing thoughts without actually identifying with them or acting on them. This visual model shows exactly how modern therapists teach this today. ACT is a psychological framework teaching patients to notice negative thoughts without fighting them, allowing the panic to pass without reaction. You see the central observer cleanly separate from the chaotic nodes. The second tool is practice, or Abhyasa. As the chaotic nodes fade, a single signal fires along a straight pathway, repeating the action. Taming the mind requires constant, deliberate repetition over time. It is a long-term conditioning process. We understand this conditioning today through the lens of neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is the brain's physical ability to reorganize and build new neural pathways based on repeated experiences. When neurons fire together repeatedly, they wire together permanently. Mental resilience is a built habit. You have to physically wire your brain for calm through deliberate, repeated cognitive effort. You can apply these two tools to build that resilience the next time you face a modern, high-stakes challenge. Step 1 is awareness. Pay close attention to your body. When you feel the dry mouth or the racing heart, recognize that your wild horse has started to run away into panic. Step 2 is detachment. Force yourself to pause. Label the feeling of panic without judging yourself for having it, and refuse to let that feeling dictate what you do next. Step 3 is practice. Mentally pull the reins back to the present moment, focusing on the immediate task in front of you. You will have to repeat this pulling motion every single time your mind wanders back to the fear. The goal of this sequence is to systematically train your intellect to remain in the driver's seat despite the presence of fear. When Arjuna looked across the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the true threat was never the opposing army. The danger was his own uncontrolled mind. The Bhagavad Gita guarantees that an uncontrolled mind acts as your greatest enemy, actively working against your goals. But a mind you have mastered through practice and detachment serves as your best friend. What does your personal inner battlefield look like today? Let me know in the comments below how you handle your hardest decisions. Once you have the tools to steer the mind, the next step is uncovering the traits that make you who you are. In the next video, we will explore the 3 gunas, the underlying psychological qualities that determine your specific personality type. Mastering the chaotic mind is the mandatory first step before you can discover your true self.